My name is Matthew DeSoy. I am the Associate Director for International Marketing at Seattle Colleges.
Hi, my name is Teresa Tope, and I'm joining you from California, Northern California. And the community college that I'm representing is called Santa Rosa Junior College.
안녕하세요. 저는 정대영이라고 하고요. 저는 지난 학기에 산타로사 주니어 컬리지를 졸업하고 거기서 약 2년 반 정도 시간을 보냈고 그 다음에 4년제 학교인 산호세 스테이트 유니버시티에 현재 다니고 있습니다. 지금은 첫 번째 학기로 편입생으로 다니고 있습니다. 오늘 여기에 조인하게 돼서 너무 영광이고 최대한 많은 걸 쉐어하도록 하겠습니다.
I'm going to talk a little bit about what a community college is. And then in the meantime, I'm also going to talk a little bit about my institution, Seattle Colleges, just to give you a sense of one example. I'm then going to pass it over to Teresa. She's going to talk about the benefits of community college. Why should you consider a community college education? And then we're very thankful to have Jay with us, a student of a community college, to talk a little bit about firsthand experience. Now, I like to start off just by saying that community college is a particularly American concept. It's not something that exists widespread around the world outside of the United States. And the way that it fits in to the higher education system is quite unique. So I like to start off just by talking very generally about what a community college offers. Most of our students, and I'll kind of expand on this in a minute, are looking to earn a 4-year bachelor's degree. They'd like to get started with a typical traditional 4-year degree. And community colleges provide very affordable pathways towards bachelor's degrees. But we also offer other types of programming, vocational training program for kind of skills-based career fields. Community colleges are great places to learn English language, to improve your English language skills. We have short-term programs, we have certificate programs. So there's a lot of different opportunities that you can find when you're looking at community colleges. So just to start off, as I was talking about, the most popular pathway that students are looking for when they come to a community college typically is a 4-year bachelor's degree. They'd like to get started with their bachelor's degree. And when you start off on that 4-year bachelor's degree, you really have 2 options when you start. One option is to go directly to university. You can start off year 1, year 2, year 3, and year 4, all at the same university. And at the end of those 4 years, you earn your bachelor's degree. That's a very common pathway. But another pathway is to start off at community college, which you will see on your left-hand side. In almost all cases, community colleges are accredited by the same institutions that accredit universities in the same region. So in that sense, the quality of the education is typically the exact same. The institutions are evaluated in the same way. So the coursework is almost identical, whether you start off at community college or university. At the end of your first 2 years at community college, you earn an associate degree, and then you transfer to a university for year 3 and year 4, where you finish up after 4 years. So one misconception, one question that I get often is, does it take longer than 4 years to start at a community college? And I usually say typically no. So it's very possible to start off at a community college. In fact, most of our students start off at a community college and are still able to finish their bachelor's degree within 4 years. It can take, depending on what you choose, if you change your major subject a few times, there's always things that can help make your time longer. But most students are still able to finish that 4-year bachelor's degree within 4 years. So I'm going to talk very briefly about just 2 primary benefits. I know Teresa's going to expand on this a bit more in just a minute. The first tend to be small class sizes. If you go to a big public university, you'll oftentimes have some of your general education courses with maybe 100 students, 150 students in one classroom. Community colleges are known for having very small class sizes. In fact, at my institution at Seattle Colleges, our average class size is about 23 students, so not much larger than an average high school class. The second thing that really sets community colleges apart from universities is their affordability. Community colleges are oftentimes much cheaper, much more inexpensive than their university counterparts. At Seattle colleges right now, our tuition for international students is $9,600 per year. I do like to help compare that. Tuition at a public four-year university like the University of Washington is currently about $38,000 per year for international students. And then tuition at a private university like Boston University is currently about $56,000 per year. So the savings when you start at a community college are quite large. So I like to help you understand the biggest thing that you'll hear about in a lot of cases from community colleges is the savings. The affordability is quite high. So I like to help you really just get a sense of understand what it really means. So on the right-hand side, you'll see the University of Washington, a great institution located just up the street here in Seattle. About $38,000 per year times 4. You're looking at a bachelor's degree that costs about $153,000 at the end of your 4 years. Now that's before scholarships and financial aid that you might be able to get, but that is a pretty big price. Now on the left side, you see if you start at Seattle colleges, a community college district, the community college tuition in year 1 and year 2, so about $9,600 per year. Then you transfer to the University of Washington for year 3 and year 4. At the end of those 4 years, you still finish up with a bachelor's degree from the University of Washington. So the end really is the same, but you save about $50,000 right at the start from starting off at a community college. So this is one thing. There are so many benefits to community college, and Teresa's going to talk more about that. But affordability is one of the ones that you will hear most often when you hear from representatives from community college. So again, I just like to highlight the way that it works for most students. We offer 2-year programs at community college typically that prepare students for transfer to an additional 2 years at university. In most cases, community colleges offer what is called general education coursework. So this is really required across the board, whether you start at community college or university. There's always courses that are required regardless of the major subject. So typically in year 1 and year 2, you're going to take what is called general education courses. You'll finish up all of those courses. And then when you transfer to university in year 3 and year 4, you tend to take more major coursework then. You can study any major. So another question that I get often about, and I'm sure Teresa gets this as well, is what can you study at a community college? And I generally like to say, with a few exceptions, that you can study almost anything. Community colleges are great places to start almost any major subject, because community colleges don't tend to specialize in one subject or another. They offer the base education for almost all subjects. And then when you transfer to university in year 3, you have a chance to really select a university that then specializes in that specific major. So I'll just say for my institution, Seattle colleges, business, computer science, and engineering tend to be our top 3 programs. But generally keep in mind that when you're looking at community colleges, you really are able to start almost any major subject. So I'm just going to finish up really quick before I pass it over to Teresa, just talking a little bit about Seattle colleges. So the first thing I like to say is are located in the top left-hand side of the United States, the Pacific Northwest. We are in the state of Washington, not too far from Vancouver, Canada, Portland, Oregon, and not too far from the Pacific Ocean. Seattle Colleges has 3 campuses all within the city of Seattle. So 3 different campus environments that you can choose from. Each offers generally the same academic programs. But so really when you're kind of looking at each campus, it really is about what environment you're looking for. Our top transfer destinations from Seattle colleges tend to be the University of Washington, Seattle, and Washington State University. But we have a lot of pathways that help students that go into the UC systems, the Cal State systems. We have created, a lot of community colleges create partnerships with universities to really help them have an easy process when transferring. So transferring is one of the things that is most important. We want to help you reach success. We want to help you get to the point where you'd like to get to. Here in Washington State, we have a lot of partnerships, both with universities in the state of Washington as well as outside. I already talked about at my institution, we have about 135 major subjects. Business, computer science, and engineering tend to be our top 3. Right now we have 1,800 international students with about 160 students from South Korea. That's, unfortunately, it's a bit lower right now because of COVID, but 160 is where we were at in the winter quarter of last year. One thing that makes community colleges a great benefit is flexible admission. Here in Seattle, we operate on a quarter system. So what that means, we have 4 academic periods per year. And it tries to make it a little bit easier for students so that you have 4 times to apply and 4 times when you can enroll each year: fall, winter, spring, and summer. That means September, January, April, and June. So it's a really flexible admission. We're always accepting applications. One of the things that makes Seattle stand out, generally in the US, I know California has got this as well, is we've got a really competitive job market. Seattle is home to some really big companies like Amazon and Microsoft and Starbucks. Google, Apple, and Facebook all have offices here. But what that means is that when you finish up your degree, whether after your associate degree or after your bachelor's degree, you're going to have a lot of opportunities when it comes to finding a job through OPT. Now, before I finish up, I do want to talk about one thing that makes Washington State particularly unique. And that is that in Washington State community colleges, you actually can complete your high school education while you complete your associate degree. So we don't require a high school education in order to start. Our minimum age is 16 years old. And you can come here. We have a 2-year program. We call it High School Completion Plus, and it allows you in 2 years to finish all of the requirements for a high school diploma and an associate degree, so that after you finish up your program, you're able to go directly into year 3 at university. And lastly, short-term certificate programs are something that are very common. You don't have to come and just study with us for an academic program that lasts 2 years. We offer programs from 1 quarter to through 4 quarters, so from 3 months to 12 months, that allow you to study almost any subject. So it really does give you a chance to if you're looking to build your skills in a certain area, learn a new subject. We do not require that students commit to a degree program. So I'm going to hand it over now to Teresa, and she's going to talk a little bit about the Cal State system and the benefits of community college.
Thank you, Matthew. It was very thorough. So as I mentioned before, I'm from Santa Rosa Junior College, which is located in Northern California. And as I go through this portion of my presentation, you will notice some differences between the California system and the Washington State system. You will notice a lot of similarities because community colleges operate, well, in a lot of very similar ways throughout the US, but there are some differences as well. So I'm going to start fairly broad and talk about the public school system in California. It's basically 3 tiers. So that first one that you see there is the University of California, and that is one that you have probably heard of. There are several UCs that are quite famous. So UC Berkeley, UCLA, for example. The second one there, the California State University system, better known as the CSU system. And then the third tier there is the California Community College system, and that's what I'll be focusing most of my attention on. So the UCs, there are 10 UCs. They're located throughout the state of California. You can see that Santa Rosa Junior College is near UC Davis, UC Berkeley, UC Santa Cruz. It's also near UCSF, but UCSF is a medical institution. And in the United States, you must complete a bachelor's degree before you can apply to a medical school. So I don't include that one as a transfer institution for our students. But our students do commonly go to Davis, Berkeley, and Santa Cruz. So the UCs are primarily research institutions. They offer a wide variety of programs and degree options. They offer bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and a variety of doctoral degrees as well. And then the CSU system is a larger system. They have more campuses. There are 23, again, all over the state of California. Santa Rosa Junior College is most closely located to Sonoma State University, Sacramento State University, and San Francisco State University. Pretty close to San Jose State University as well. We're close to the Maritime Academy, but they have very specialized programs, so we rarely have students transfer there, but we do commonly have students transfer to Sonoma State, Sac State, and San Francisco State. So this is the largest university system in the US, the CSU system. They award bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and only a few doctoral degrees, primarily in education. They're more educational institutions than research institutions like the UCs. And then finally, we have the California Community College system. There are 116 campuses. This is just in California alone. So it is the largest system of higher education in the United States. We serve more than 2 million students per year. Every state in the United States has community colleges, but California has the most. We have the most comprehensive system. It's a very easy transfer process, and it's just very comprehensive. The primary mission of the California Community Colleges is to prepare students to transfer to four-year universities to complete bachelor's degrees, especially for international students. That's what most international students want, is to pursue a bachelor's degree. And we do offer vocational programs. Santa Rosa Junior College has about 150 different certificate programs. So that's a nice option for students who want a shorter term program just to prepare them for a specific skill for the workforce. And then we have basic skills classes. So that includes classes like ESL and other basic skills classes that don't typically count toward your associate's degree. So we award associate's degrees and certificates. So as I mentioned before, it's the largest system of higher education in the United States. It's quite common. About 50% of Americans begin their bachelor's degrees at community colleges. So a third of community college students in the United States attend a California community college. About a third of the UC and more than half of the CSU graduates started at a California community college. And then almost half of the UC bachelor's degrees that are awarded in STEM fields began those degrees at a California community college. I started it at a California community college, got an associate's degree, transferred to a CSU, received a bachelor's degree, and then went on to get a teaching credential and a master's degree. So it doesn't slow you down. You end up with the same degree in the same amount of time as long as you stay on track. Tuition, of course, for the community colleges in California, when compared to a university, most universities, is lower. So a little bit of information about the institution that I represent, Santa Rosa Junior College. We, as I mentioned, were established in 1918, and back in 1918, there were no other community colleges north of San Francisco. So Stanford University and UC Berkeley wanted a community college to be built to prepare students to transfer to their institutions. So that's why this school was created. Our current top transfer destinations are Berkeley, Davis, UCLA, Sonoma State University, and San Francisco State University. You certainly are not limited to these options. You don't have to stay within the public university system. You can transfer just about anywhere you want to. Our academic Counselors will help you choose an institution that is right for you, that you feel is the right fit. You could go to Washington. We have students who transfer to University of Washington or Washington State University, for example. Community colleges are not ranked. So this is something that we get questions about quite a bit. You're not going to find us in the US News and World Reports. It's just, we're not ranked. But one thing that you can look at if rankings are important to you, and personally, I think you need to find the right fit for you. That's more important than rankings. But if it's important to you or your family, you can look at the acceptance rates and the transfer rates into the UC system, because that is tracked by the Chancellor's office. So Santa Rosa Junior College currently has the highest acceptance rate into the UC system for the community colleges of our size. So community colleges can be small, medium, large, extra large. And then we have the third highest acceptance rate into the UC system of all of the community colleges. And again, in California, that is 116 community colleges. Okay, so this is just a summary of what we have talked about. Some of the overall benefits that you will find at most community colleges. You have access to an additional work opportunity, because after completion of a program, you can take advantage of what is called OPT. And I'm sure EducationUSA has workshops on this and they can explain it in more depth. But basically what it is after you complete a program, in a related field, you can find off-campus employment full-time for 1 year. So you can take a break in between your associate's degree, work for a year, transfer to a university, earn your bachelor's degree, and then work for another year. So it's a great opportunity, I think, to really gain some valuable work experience. That kind of went out of order, sorry about that, but of course we have lower tuition, and that's generally true across the US for community colleges. We have lower tuition. Smaller class sizes, so currently at Santa Rosa Junior College, our average class size is, the ratio of student to faculty is 20:1. So you just have so much personal contact with your instructors. They're required to have office hours. So that means that if you're having, a challenge of some sort in your class, you didn't understand the assignment, you can meet with your faculty member, your instructor outside of class, one-on-one. So you get to really know them, and they provide a lot of support for you. Transferable level coursework, of course, and university connections. So in California, the community colleges have guaranteed transfer agreements with the CSU system, the whole CSU system, all 23 campuses, as well as 6 of the 9 UCs. So this is a great advantage. As long as you stay on track, you take the coursework that's required for transfer, and you earn the grades that you need. You have to do the work, of course, but it's very clearly outlined what the work is that you need to accomplish in order to transfer. We help you all along the way, and then the transfer is guaranteed. We also have other university connections. So even if we don't have a guaranteed transfer, we have articulation agreements with many universities, including the 3 UCs that I did not include with the guaranteed transfer agreement. We still have students who transfer to those universities because through the articulation agreements that we have with them. Personalized attention, I mentioned that. So that is included with, we have dedicated international student advisors, international student academic counselors as well. There's a lot of personal attention through clubs and sports and just support like you can't believe. We have free field trips to the universities in our area. We have a big transfer day where about 60 different universities come to campus. You can meet with the representatives. They also come throughout the year so that you can meet with them one-on-one. We have workshops about scholarship opportunities. We do have quite a few scholarship opportunities that are open to international students, workshops about how to work on campus or off campus, etc. Lots of personalized attention. It's a nice soft landing, which I think is important, because when you are coming to a whole new educational system and trying to figure that out at the same time as you're trying to make friends and, you know, just fit in and have fun, it's nice to do that in a really soft environment, I think, where you'll get a lot of personal attention. Flexible admission standards, Matthew mentioned this. Most California community colleges are on the semester system versus Washington, that most of them are on the quarter system. So we have 2 start dates, sometimes 3 per year. At Santa Rosa Junior College, you can start in January or August. If you're a continuing student, of course, you can take classes during the summer, and some of the community colleges in California have summer start dates as well. So that would mean you would start in June. And the admission standards are pretty relaxed. You don't have to take any standardized tests like the SAT or the ACT for admission. In California, you do need to either be the age of 18 or finished with high school. But other than that, it's pretty simple. The only standardized test that you will probably need to take is for English proficiency. Okay, so I would love to introduce you to Jay. She's one of our former students at Santa Rosa Junior College. Take it away.
안녕하세요. 저는 정재영이라고 하고요. 아까 말했듯이 산타로자 주니어 칼리지에서 약 2년 반 동안 경영학 메이저로 공부를 했고, 지금은 4년제 CSU 대학의 첫 번째 학기로 마치고 있는데, 제가 이걸 약간 준비하면서 제일 먼저 말하고 싶고 강조하고 싶었던 건, 가장 좋았던 점이 먼저 교수님들이 너무 열정적이셨던 분들이 굉장히 많았고, 저는 운이 좋게도 거의 그런 교수님들만 많이 만났던 것 같고, 단순히 열정만 있으신 것만이 아니라 그분들의 경력도 굉장히 대단해서, 제가 처음에 커뮤니티 컬리지에 갔을 때 솔직히 가장 큰 이유는 이제 돈을 조금 세이브하기 위해서 했던 이유가 가장 컸는데, 그래서 사실 기대감도 조금 낮았던 게, 다른 4년제 또는 UC에 비해서 내가 얻을 수 있는 게 조금 덜 한다든지 그런 걱정도 솔직히 했던 게, 아무래도 비용이 좀 덜 하니까 그렇게 생각을 하기도 했었는데, 생각보다 너무 의외로 교수님들도 그분들이 단순히 그냥 책에 있는 걸 전달하시는 게 아니라 본인들의 경험을 최대한 활용하시고, 정말 학생들이 볼 수 있을 정도로 얼마나 그분들이 학생들에게 잘 가르치고 싶으신지가 딱 여실히 드러나서, 그런 점에 대해서 굉장히 감사했고, 커뮤니티 컬리지라고 해서 뭐가 조금 덜한다든지 이런 활용할 수 있는 자원들이 덜한 게 전혀 아니라, 클럽 활동들도 다양하고, 내가 학생들이 직접 자기가 원하는 클럽을 만들 수도 있고, 오히려 저는 개인적으로 조금 다른 4년제에 비해서 스케일이 작았기 때문에 좋았던 게, 너무 스케일이 컸다면 처음에 딱 미국 대학을 갔을 때 약간 당황하거나 너무 큰 스케일에 적응하기 힘들었을 수도 있는데, 오히려 조금 작은 스케일에서 시작해서 전학을 가니까 적응하기도 훨씬 쉬웠고, 정말 말 그대로 커뮤니티라고, 커뮤니티에 있는 느낌이 들어서 그냥 내가 큰 학교에 그냥 단순히 한 학생이 아니라 다른 학생들과도 더 쉽게 친해지고 연결될 수 있고 자원들을 더 쉽게 접근하고 활용할 수 있어서, 오히려 저는 그 약간 다른 4년제에 비해서 작은 스케일이 더 장점으로 되었던 것 같고, 정말 다양한 장점이 있고, 단순 비용뿐만이 아니라 정말 가족 같은 느낌도 든다는 게 저는 개인적으로 좋았고, 뭐 장점은 수도 없이 많겠지만 제가 마지막으로 가장 강조하고 싶은 건, 어느 대학을 가든 자기가 거기서 뭘 하는지가 사실 가장 제일 중요하다고 저는 생각하고 그걸 꼭 말씀을 드리고 싶었던 게 대학을 가는 것 자체가 굉장히 인생에서 큰 부분이겠지만 특히 외국에 미국의 커뮤니티 컬리지로 올 때 내가 왜 이곳으로 오고 그런 확실한 목표와 이유가 있으면 훨씬 더 즐거운 생활, 훨씬 더 내가 뭔가 얻을 수 있는 게 더 많을 것 같아요. 그래서 만약에 오시기로 결정을 하시고 마음을 먹었다면 내가 진짜 왜 오기로 했는지, 어떤 장점을 특히 내가 더 활용을 하고 싶은지 그런 목표가 확실히 있다면 저는 훨씬 더 좋다고 생각하고 그렇게 하시기를 강력히 저는 추천을 드립니다. 그런 목표를 가지시는 게. 그래서 저는 개인적으로 분명히 얻으시는 게 많을 것 같고 바로 4년제 대학을 가는 것보다 오히려 커뮤니티 컬리지에 가시는 게 더 좋으실 것 같다는 제 경험상 말씀드리고 싶고 저는 일단 여기까지 말하고 궁금하신 거 아무거나 있으면 뭐 개인적인 부분이라든지 아니면 시스템적인 부분이라든지 궁금하신 게 있으면 언제든지 채팅이나 아니면 마이크를 켜서 질문 남겨주시면 감사하겠습니다.